Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. And this episode is different than all of the other ones. This by far is my favorite guest. It's with my dad, Malcolm Rieger. Father's Day is coming up this Sunday. This episode will drop on a Friday, and this Sunday is Father's Day. And so I thought, how cool it would be to have him on to talk about lessons learned from his dad, lessons I learned from him. And guys, it's not all personal stuff. We talk about some things that will definitely help your business. Dad has gone through some very serious health challenges and just has a positive attitude through all of it. And I guarantee if you listen to this, you'll gain some wisdom and have some lessons learned yourself that you can apply in your business and apply in your life. And so I've just learned a lot from him and owe a lot to him. And just grateful to have the opportunity to share him with you guys, because he's a precious gentleman and just loves the Lord. And there's nobody that meets him that says they do not like him. And so I think I got a lot of my niceness from him as well, and my personality and my demeanor. But hopefully you'll love this episode because it definitely will help your business. A lot of the lessons I learned from him, that he learned from his father, are things that you can apply to your business. But guys, I think about Father's Day, and I'll get real with you for a minute. I know that I've talked about this on my podcast before, but I know that Father's Day and Mother's Day are not always happy days for folks. We say happy Mother's Day, happy Father's Day, like, oh, it's another day. But guys, I know for some of you, men and women, Father's Day, Mother's Day can be very, very difficult, very hard for various reasons. Maybe you lost your mom recently. And so, talking about Mother's Day just makes you think of her. Maybe you lost her 10 years ago and it makes you think of her. Maybe you just lost your father. And so Father's Day for you is going to be difficult. Maybe you're on the other boat where Melaine and I were, where we had 3 miscarriages. So every single time we go to church, they'd have the mother stand up, and my wife would be sitting there wondering when our time was. When are we going to be parents? And the same thing for Father's Day. That was just equally as hard for her and me, of course. But, being one of the only guys in the crowd that weren't able to stand because you didn't have kids here on the earth, that's difficult, guys. And I know that some of you have dealt with that. I know that miscarriage is not something that's talked about. Some of you may have gone through that, and very few friends, family may even know that. Something you just hold close to your heart and something that you still grieve over. Guys, I understand that you can still have kids, and maybe you have 4 beautiful kids, but you've lost some through miscarriage. You still think about them, and you still can listen to a song or something can trigger that feeling, and you can be in tears over those kids that you lost. So guys, I get it. Elaine and I have been through it, and Father's Day for me now is awesome. I'm grateful for Callan. My goodness, he is our miracle boy, and I am crazy grateful for the Lord bringing him into our life. But I can still remember the days when it wasn't that long ago. He's only 3, when we didn't have kids, and we were so like wondering, God, when is our time? When are we gonna be parents? We know that your word says that we're gonna Elaine is going to be a joyful mother of children. And we had all these promises, yet, it seems like it's taking forever. So if you're in that boat over a kid, I get it. I feel for you. I'm here to pray for you guys. If there's any of you that have been in that position and you want to share that with me and you want prayer, please feel free to reach out to me. Send me an email, ryan@ryanrieger.com. happy to pray for you because I believe that God wants to give you the desire of your heart and bless you with children. And so just wanted to share that with you because I know that, Father's Day is not always a happy day for every single person out there. But one of the things that Dad talks about is not giving up. And I mentioned just a second ago that he's dealt with some very serious health challenge in his life, yet he doesn't give up. He's always joyful. I'm sure there's times when he's down, but for the most part, every time I talk to him, he's in a good mood. He has that joy on the inside of him, and that comes from the Lord, obviously. But I learn a lot from him about not giving up in life. Many times over the years, I can point to things where I just learned that from him. And so I implore you to not give up on that dream that you have inside your heart. If that's a dream to be a parent, if that's a dream to be married, if that's a dream to own a business, if that's a dream to grow your business, guys, whatever it is, it's important. And don't give up on that dream. I'm here to help you, here to serve you any way I can, even if that's just to pray for you. I'm happy to do that. That's probably a whole lot more than anything you're going to learn in a podcast is, being able to pray for you. But I want to help you any way I can, guys. And just feel free to reach out, but know that that I'm here to help. We have communities here to help you, to come alongside you, support you in growing your business. So let's jump into this. But before we do, let me introduce you to someone very special to me. Guys, I know you probably heard him in the background of podcasts before, but this is his first time on Streams of Income Radio. Colin, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, people.
Oh no.
Hi.
I need to do it again.
Do it again. What?
I need people on your computer.
You see people on the computer?
I need people on that
Well, there's
computer.
people listening to you right now. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Callan.
I'm Joyce.
You want to push buttons? I know he loves to push buttons. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I am so excited for this one. This is by far my most favorite guest of all time. Of course, I've already done the intro, but this is my father, Malcolm Rieger. Dad, welcome. Thanks for being on with me.
Thanks for asking me, Ryan.
Of course.
Good to be here or there.
And you're a faithful listener, right?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Most of the time, yes. I would say that I've hit probably 90% of them.
Well, that's pretty good. You're probably my number one fan, I bet. I don't think anybody else listens to that many of them.
And I'll always be your number one fan.
I appreciate
Besides
that.
for Mullane.
That's right. So obviously Father's Day is coming up. This podcast is going to launch on Friday morning, 2 days before Father's Day. And so I thought, what better topic to talk about Father's Day? And guys listening to this is not all going to be personal stuff. Of course, we're going to share some stories and things, but I want to weave in business, essentially business things you might deal with that hopefully you'll get some ideas out of this or ways to overcome challenges in your business. So it's not all personal here, but I just wanted to bring Dad on because it's Father's Day and wanted to kind of call this Lessons Learned from My Father. We'll probably talk about things he learned from his dad, my grandfather, who I had the pleasure of knowing, passed away back in 2006, I believe. So got to, or 7, I think. And so I got a long time with him, and that was such a blessing. But Dad, let's tell them, usually when people come on, I ask them their story. Most folks are selling on Amazon, you know that, and that's not what you do, and that's totally fine. But tell them, introduce yourself, what's your story, everything.
Well, basically my story, Ryan, I'm a native Hoosier, born in Indiana, raised in a small town. I had a paper route when I was 9. I kept it for 9 years, but I've always enjoyed working. Growing up in a home, a modest home, my dad worked in the factory, and I may be getting ahead of myself.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, he always was the provider for our home. That was his. I think really his interest in life was to always work.
Mm-hmm.
and he was he was a good provider.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of things from him.
Yeah. He worked at General Motors, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes,
And that was a time when you would work for 40 years and take a pension and
and retire, and yes,
retire.
and Dad, he'd always, I had to hear him say a lot that he says, I just love my job. I
Yeah.
like going into the factory.
And he
That's
did.
things that, yeah, that from that generation,
Yeah.
I believe that they were really appreciative of good paying jobs,
Mm-hmm.
having come through the Depression.
Right.
So there were a lot of valuable lessons learned from my dad, and somehow that was passed on down into my life.
Yeah. And so you kind of followed the same route. You didn't go to college either and went right into the workforce and worked at General Motors too. How long did you work at GM?
I worked at GM for 31 and a half years.
Nice. And you got a
And
pension, a pension too, right?
yeah, I got a pension also, and
Yeah.
and that provided well, working for GM has provided us a nice place, and I just really thank the Lord that well, I was blessed
Mm-hmm.
with a good job and a good family.
Yeah. And you think, because would you say that your generation might have been probably the last one that was able to experience, a situation where you work at the same place for 30 years, take a pension when you retire and able to live off that?
Yeah, probably so. Through the last few years, there are, I think, less and less jobs like that.
Yeah.
The blue collar, especially in the automobile workforce.
For sure. Because that
Which
same
I
building,
did.
the same building you worked at is not even there anymore.
No, it's gone now. It's gone.
So you kind
Doesn't
of got
seem
out right at the
possible.
right time.
Yeah, it did.
Man.
But I've also enjoyed retirement too. But I don't know whether when we say retirement, I'm not sure if you ever retire.
Sure.
You might just do some different things.
Yeah.
They say that I was told that if you're married, and you retire, you had better like your wife because you're going to be with them a lot.
That's
So
true.
I only like my wife, but I also love her.
That's true. I've heard stories of people after like their husbands are, away at work every day. And so that you get used to being around by themselves.
Yeah.
And when their husband
Yeah.
retires, their husband
Yeah.
drives them crazy.
You better get along really well. You may want to pray about retiring if you have situation like that.
For
Let
sure.
the Lord lead you. He may stay. Don't you dare retire.
Guys, as you can tell, my dad has a fun sense of humor. We have a good time. We'll get to that. He's actually he's a master of quotes. The Lord gives him quotes that he writes down that are really, really good, just insights from his life and things that he feels are to encourage other people. Dad, I don't know how much you want to get into this, and you can feel free to share as much or as little as you want. But you've obviously had some physical challenge in your life, and what does that look like, and how have you gotten through that?
Well, see, that's for sure. You don't get through something like that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
It's really because I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I know that He has helped in every situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I've done, but it's what He's done in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really depend a lot upon Him just for everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
The factor of joy.
Mm-hmm.
Joy is very important to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a relationship with the Lord.
Yep. That's true. And that's something you've taught me. And you've heard me say it on here. I'm not shy about it. It's all about him. There's no way I could do
Yes,
any of this.
right.
And
Exactly.
that's definitely a lesson I could say I learned from you and mom, and just incredibly thankful for that, because I believe it is the favor of God that's
Hmm.
given me. It's not a huge platform, but I do have people that listen to me and are thankful for this podcast and books and
Hmm.
communities I have. And I really know that it all comes back to him. But
Right.
no, you're right. You've taught me not to give up. And it's incredible to see how much joy you have in the midst of some of the really hard things that you've gone through. And so, and I know that it all comes back to the Lord, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's to try to maintain that type of an attitude on your own. I would be trying to do it myself,
Sure.
and that doesn't work. So
Right.
letting the Lord be the Lord who He says He is,
Mm-hmm.
then that I can rest. I can
Right.
rest in the Lord, and not be so uptight and fearful
Yeah.
of things around you, things you
Yeah.
hear, things
Sure.
you see on television.
Yeah.
So it's a rest that He wants us all to be in.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're probably not watching the news much now, are you?
No, no, no.
You do that, you can
So,
get uptight and
for
anxious
sure.
pretty quick.
Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness,
goodness.
yes.
Oh my gosh. So talking about not giving up, not quitting, I mean, I see that every day in your life, but even when we were growing up, you taught Michael and I. Michael's my brother, guys. He's 2 years younger than me. You taught us that, and I just watched you, uh, live your life that way. I remember one time in particular, I think I was probably 8 or 9, and I was on the baseball team. I was not a good baseball player. I did not like it at all, and I wanted to quit, but you wouldn't let me. Why wouldn't you let me quit?
Right. I don't think I remember that. you, you know, I know you guys played baseball, but why, I don't know why. I said, maybe did I not ever tell you why?
I
Maybe so I just I didn't want you to.
I
I
think
thought maybe if you want to go.
I don't remember you giving me like some big long lecture, but it was just the fact that we made a commitment. We made a commitment to the
Yeah,
team. We signed up for it, and you're
yeah,
not going to quit early.
yeah. That's what I said, Ryan.
That's
Had to be.
exactly what you said.
That's right. That's what it was. Good job.
Yeah, exactly right. Did you learn all of that, the not give up spirit, the joy? Did you learn any of that from your dad, or what else did you learn from him besides the hard work?
The way uh, this has to be the top one. The way that he loved my mom.
Yep.
That was it, man. That 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 was it. There's things. There's some things that you can't teach. I mean,
Right.
uh, you of course, when we're a child in the family, we have DNA of them all,
Mm-hmm.
aunts and uncles and moms and dads and grandmas. And so the Lord puts all that together. And
Mm-hmm.
here we are, the complexity of the human being.
Yeah.
And we have our personalities are all different and
Yeah.
likes. And I like to say different strokes for different folks. But the thing that I think that my dad really showed me, Brian, was that the love and the respect that
Mm-hmm.
a man
Mm-hmm.
needs for his wife.
Yep.
And when they do that, it makes the marriage so much more, true and
Yeah.
without strife. My goodness.
Absolutely. I remember that he took very good care of her, didn't he?
Yeah, even in his later years in life, when mom and dad were together, he would still open the car door
Yep.
for her and
Uh-huh.
help her in the car.
Yep.
So he was right there
Yeah.
as the man of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. She passed away in 96, so he lived another 10 years, didn't he?
Yes, yes, he did.
And his
Yeah.
life was not, he was just a very lonely man after that. So,
Yes, he was. Yeah.
he,
Sometimes, yeah. I think it's sometimes so important. You don't always miss someone until they're gone,
yeah,
this could even be friends, but you
sure.
wish that you would have asked them other questions and things, and really got to know them and things that make them tick. Because
Mhm.
once they're gone, that information, that things that you're looking for,
Mhm.
you may not find out.
That's
So
right.
it's good.
That's good. And
It's
that's
good.
something that so obviously you learned it from my grandfather, your dad, and you passed that along to me because I've watched you treat mom with respect that way. And
Hmm.
so I endeavor to do that with Melaine. And so hopefully
Hmm.
she says
Yeah,
I've done a good job with that. But
yeah.
yeah, no, that's awesome to see something you learned from him, you implement that, and I learn the same thing and do my best to
Uh-huh.
implement that in my family.
Yeah,
That's fun.
it makes for a happier marriage.
Oh, totally does. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love it. So let's chat about, I love your quotes. You are an encourager by heart, by nature. People, uh, I don't think there's probably anyone in the world that would say that they have met you and doesn't like you. You're good with strangers. You just you're a conversationalist, but you also have these fun quotes. And I want to share some of them and discuss them because they have some good business lessons in them too. Because you're not a businessman like the people in my audience. You worked a regular job like a lot of folks, but you have a ton of wisdom that applies to things that we directly teach
Hmm.
in our communities. What's one of the favorite ones that and you joke about it, but you always say it's the attitude of is 100 years from now we won't care.
Yeah. I wish that wasn't from me, Ryan. That was from your grandma,
Okay.
great grandma. Yes, great grandma. That was her quote. I kind of
You stole that
stole it
one.
from her
100 years from now, we
after
won't
she
care. But that's so
passed.
true. That's the way you go about
Yeah,
things. You let things roll off your back very easily.
yeah, yeah. You have to think that we're only here, even if it's 120 years.
Uh-huh.
That's really short.
It is.
For this life, and so oftentimes we allow the small things to become mountains,
Yeah.
and they should be only molehills.
Yep.
But the more people dwell on that molehill and dwell on it and think about it and concentrate
They
and
turn it into
mumble on it.
mountains.
Yes, exactly. And then it gets bigger. So
Yep.
you want to do that. You have to
Absolutely.
remember it'll pass.
It will. This
This
too
too
shall
shall
pass.
pass.
that's
Yes.
what you say. And another one of your favorites. I don't know how we can weave into this one into business, but that'll taste good over ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say, now, how would that work
I
in a business? Yeah.
probably
So,
not.
something. Maybe somebody ought to market something
Yeah,
that'll
I have
taste
no
good.
idea.
I don't know what
Yeah,
the.
that's kind of an inside joke in our family. We'll be eating something, and Dad'll say that'll taste good over ice cream, and it could be something like
Yeah.
ketchup or whatever, and it just would be.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh
It's
my
it's
goodness,
just one of those funny ones.
it
Yeah.
is. So I'm going to read out some of these, and let's just discuss a few of them because they're really good, and these are ones that these are things that you have written down, and that I think it actually would be good in a book. But here's one here. It says, "May this be the day you take that first step to what you have so longed in your heart to do. Rise above the negativity you may have heard that has hindered you from advancing to your destiny." Do you remember that one?
I do. I do. Um, that wasn't the one that I had marked, I think. Yeah.
That's one of the ones I
Anyway,
had. That's one of the ones I had marked, and I'll
but
go up to the one that you did too. But that one really stood out to me because in business, it's so easy to have the things that people say about you negative things stop you from
Mhm.
moving forward.
That's true. Yeah, it's the negative things. Well, and it doesn't even have to be um, doing what you guys are doing.
Mhm.
It could be a child in the home.
Yeah.
They hear negative things, and so that negative remarks can make a huge difference sometimes in people going on with what they think or that they desire to do.
Mhm.
So I think it's better to avoid negative situation or negative people. You can't always do that, but don't don't let it be the reason why you
Absolutely.
you just quit.
That's good. Here's one that you, I think some of these I went back, I saw that you had marked them and I had marked them too, but I think this one's not yours. You said John Wooden said this, but the best thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That that is so true.
It
It's
is.
the home. It's the home that is so important. Um,
Absolutely.
you take oftentimes you can tell people by being around them what kind of home life they had, and of
Hmm.
course, no one has ever had a perfect home life, but we've all had a few dysfunctions. But when you put the Lord first,
Hmm.
that's you're on the right track, and
Amen.
show the kids the love of Jesus.
That is good. You guys did a good job of that. Still do. Another one that you put on here, the skill, the ability, the creativity you have, and yes, even your infectious smile were given to you for someone else.
Yes, that yeah, that is true. It's even like you said, Ryan, the smile. Some
Hmm.
people just need smiles, and I've through the years have tried to remember that
Hmm.
uh, when I was working or when I was in a mall or
Hmm.
in a restaurant, a smile. There's something about a smile, and also
Right.
they say that it takes less. It's easier to smile than it is to frown.
Yeah. Takes less muscle movement, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a good
So
one. That goes right along with a lot of things that I teach is about that, there are people waiting on the other side of your obedience. And so that thing that God's placed in your heart, that message, that skill, you say that the skill, ability, creativity you have, and even your infectious smile were given to you for someone else. That flows right into what I talk about in that thing that God's given you, that purpose, that plan is for somebody else to
yeah,
touch
yeah.
somebody else's life.
I think sometimes people will go to the point where, well, what can I do? What,
Hmm.
especially when people, and we've all done this, compare. We
Yes.
compare ourselves with somebody else,
Hmm.
with what they do, and maybe one has an area in that in their life that they can't be as good as so and so. But if we just realize that we are all very uniquely made
Yeah.
in the image of God,
Uh-huh.
and we have talents and abilities, and things that we don't even think about sometimes. It's
Yeah.
just natural things
Yep.
that were put there by God.
That's right.
So if we use those, uh, we can brighten up someone else that may be. I always when we go
Absolutely.
into a restaurant,
Uh-huh.
um, I'll look at the waiter
Uh-huh.
or the waitress, and sometimes I'll see them. They don't look like they're very happy, but
Uh-huh.
and maybe the service wasn't very good,
Uh-huh.
but I tip them anyway because
Yep.
I think about maybe maybe she is a mother that has two, three, four kids at home,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, she's trying to do her very best, and
Mm-hmm.
she may not like her job,
Yeah.
and so I think
Yeah.
if
That's
we
good.
keep that in mind that we can become better tippers.
That's right. Well, that's something else I learned from you is generosity. You're very generous, and Grandma, your mom, was generous. Now your dad was a little bit more. He was a saver, so he was a little.
Yeah.
I remember when I would mow their lawn for them, and Grandpa would pay me $5. Guys, they had a little lawn, and we're talking about like 1990 here. So
Yeah.
he'd pay me $5 or $10, which I could have got 20 or 30 elsewhere, but he paid me a little bit, and then Grandma would always supplement, saying, "Hey, he didn't pay you enough. Here's some more money."
Yeah, and she'd say, "Don't tell Grandpa."
Don't tell Grandpa. I remember that. So I learned that generosity from her. She also imparted that to you, and you did too. So yeah, that's so true. And what you just said there was gold, because people, especially business owners, we compare ourselves to other people. You might remember, I've had a young man named Jimmy Smith on this podcast.
Yeah.
He and his wife Brittany are selling over close to $200,000 a month, and so it's very easy for somebody just starting out to look at them and compare and feel like they're worthless and that they're never going to get to that level. But you can't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle.
Right.
I love that you said that.
At least, it's just when they start, it's starting is a big thing, but it's just maintaining. It's like the tortoise and the rabbit, the tortoise made it, but but I think sometimes it's not the destination that means so much. It's your journey that what it took for a person to get to that destination, the blood, sweat, and tears, that you can appreciate what you accomplished.
I love it. That's good stuff. You're saying the thing. Wow. There's really good wisdom here. The other one I love that goes along with what you were just saying is, I believe one of the greatest awareness we can have is to realize we're so very, very unique, and that there will never, ever be another you or me.
That's right. Oh, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You
wrote it.
Oh. I'm sure someone else wrote that too, Ryan.
Oh, I'm sure there's other quotes that are similar, but this one's particular with how you wrote it out.
It just, I'm in awe sometimes that when I just look at a sunset at night, or like on Facebook, somebody sends me a scenic picture, that just takes me, oh my goodness, I really enjoy it. The uniqueness of God, because we're all different.
We are.
Man, goodness.
That's so true.
Awesome.
Well, let's do one more here. And this is kind of in the same vein of what we've been talking about, where you said it's about the journey. But on your way to where you're going, don't forget to stop and smell the roses along the way.
Yeah, that is. Don't miss the simple things.
Yeah.
It's like driving a car, and you want to get there, but you don't see what's along the road.
Yeah.
Things that busy life oftentimes, it's just like, it's very important to slow down and stop and to appreciate, like the sunset, or like the rose, or a bee or a butterfly.
Right.
It's just something that God, He wants to bless us, and we oftentimes get really, really busy.
Oh, so true. Well, let's end it there. Is there anything else you would say just to folks in my audience? Any words of wisdom or anything else that come to mind?
Boy, I think I basically covered everything.
You gave them all your wisdom?
Yeah, my thimbleful.
That's right. That'll taste good over ice cream. We'll leave them with
That'll
that.
taste good over ice cream. Yeah, and don't you forget it.
That's right. Awesome. Dad, thank you so much. This has been fun. I really by far my favorite guest. Appreciate you coming on here, and thank you for everything that you've imparted to me. And I just endeavor to lean on the Lord like you did in your life and still do, to be able to be a good father to Kellen. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. But Ryan, you're always telling all of your guests that you're my favorite guest.
Yeah. I do not. Well, I couldn't get that by you because you listen to 90% of them. So if I did,
90%,
then you would know,
yeah.
wouldn't you?
That's right.
Oh my
hey,
gosh.
Ryan, it's been fun.
Good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad. Thanks for doing it. I know you weren't, you were a little bit nervous about it, but you did perform fabulously.
You took a bold step, and I took a bolder step.
That's right.
But it worked out,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it too, Ryan.
Yeah, awesome. We'll see you on the next episode.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.